formerly of Ashe County, August 13, 1980. Interviewer Clarice Weaver. We were talking about the thrashing machine that come to the farm and how exciting that must have been. Was it pretty thrilling to see it come rolling in with those old oxens pulling and
yes. The children would have them coming up the road. We'd get out there and stand by the road till they passed by, and then we'd fall in behind and watch that oxen pulling those big boilers up through there. The oxen was much slower than the horses, and it rode over those rocks easier and keep from bruising them up, shaking them up too bad.
Well, the thrashing machine's pretty dangerous. Did they ever blow or a belt break? I seem like I've heard of maybe a machine blowing up.
Well, they would blow up, even today, in fields where there's a smut on the grain, to bind that grain and hold it in and put it through one of those stationaries where they would blow up if they had too much of that smut in there. That smut will catch fire and burn them up too sometimes.
Oh, really? I guess with a lot of people around, they'd have someone get hurt, wouldn't they, if they blew up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they take those big machines out west there, they'd blow up. They have a black rust and they have a red rust. One of the black is a real smut ball. And to get too much of that in there, it'll bust the machine or blow it up, catch it on fire.
When it's time for the thrashing machine to come around, was there right much action going on in the kitchen cooking for all those workers?
That's where the women come in.
Oh my goodness. I can imagine. Well, it's just like a whole little whatever coming up, wasn't it?
Oh, it's like big corn shuckings and barn buildings or anything like that. The women got in, cooked up big pots full of chickens and dumplings and chicken and gravy and all of that stuff.
Well, there's no restaurants there. But I tell you, there must have been some pretty good cooks.
They were just like women nowadays. They pride themselves on the cooking.
Well, the children, what did you get to do? Stand by and watch till you got a certain age and then you
Well,
were glad to help?
Well, I watched, had to stand out of the way though and watch until I got big enough to do some work. Then I was right in there pitching.
Then did maybe one man in the settlement own one of these machines and he'd go from farm to farm?
Well, we didn't have one in our settlement. They'd come from down around Red Deer, from down here in North Carolina, someplace up into this part. They'd come bring the machine in and go from one farm to the other, as it went. All the farmers around would pitch in and work. It didn't cost us any money. It just
Trade work.
Trade work. And no money changed hands.
Then the straw, of course, the grain was used for food, and the straw was used for the mattresses, weren't they? The feather
Make bed ticks out of it. What was left over, they turned cattle in around it and let them eat it right out of the stack there. And the thrashing machine man, he did ask for money. He would take wheat or rye or whatever he was thrashing.
Is that right?
That's right. He'd take his pay in grain and then it kinds he thrashed.
And then he hauled it back to his home.
He'd haul it back to his own place or sold it someplace.
Mm-hmm.
Come around with his wagon and gather up a wagon load and take it home. If he didn't get all that he had thrashed out, why he'd come back and get another load.
That was the toll, wasn't
Yeah.
it? That's what they call a toll.
Yeah, it was kind of a toll instead of a money charge.
Another thing that interests me was when you would take your grain to be ground, was this a water mill type thing that you took it to?
Well, practically all the mills around the country at that time was water power.
And they took their toll when they ground it, didn't they?
Yeah.
They didn't take money.
They took out a little box there. It held just the right amount to grind a bushel. If it was only a half bushel, they'd take a half a box.
That man really didn't have to put in any grain himself farming because
No,
he
no.
was
All we need to do is run a mill.
run the mill.
We had a good flour boiler down on Hilton there that we brought our grain there to get ground. He'd grind it and take out his toll before it run through the mill. And a lot of times he would sell it wagon load to some other people or other places. And he had grain to sell pretty nearly any time from taking his toll. And separate the shorts, that's the heart out of the wheat, and he'd separate that out, and then he'd separate the bran out from the flour too. So you had 3 bags to take home when you started back with your wheat.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What you feed the bran to the livestock or the?
Well, that was about the best part of the wheat, but they didn't know it those days.
Mm-hmm.
They usually fed that to the milk cow,
Oh, really?
but it gave good milk.
Oh. Well.
But the shorts, that was the rich part. They could mix that back in your bread as you made up your bread, where you could mix some of that in, make it richer, or you could just make cereal out of it just as it was.
They didn't have any way of keeping, now they have so many preservatives in breads and that sort of thing. They didn't, did they ever, was it a battle with the weevils and that sort of thing?
Well, if you kept your barrel closed up tight, you never had trouble with the weevils. Another thing, the flour is better if you use it up. We always took it up to last a week, either the cornmeal or wheat. We'd take it up to last for a week, and then go back and keep it fresh. It's always fresh.
You didn't have to keep opening it every day then, did you?
No, just had a flour barrel, dumped it in when they got it back home. It was airtight practically.
Oh, so you didn't have it ground up until you really...
Till we were ready to use it.
The grist mills, was there any grist mills, or do you remember any grist mills?
Well, yes. We had a lot of grist mills that didn't grind anything on the corn. And they called them grist mills. Yes, we had one on Cabot Creek up there, and then fellow had one when we moved over into North Carolina where he had a little steam mill, a little upright steam engine and the grist mill. But it didn't take long to grind a bushel with that mill.
No. So you didn't have to have the water with the, you didn't have to live on the creek.
No. Oh, he had it up there on the road, not far from Little's place, I believe it was. And they had it set up there and ground for when it brought corn around.
It's beautiful country up in there, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Great place to live, but it's a hard place to get in and out of.
Yes, it is. But it's so pretty, so pretty.
Yeah.
Now, we go back to Oregon. You acquired quite a bit of land out there. You homesteaded some, you bought some farms too. What was the largest amount of cultivation you had going at one season?
That land that I had up on the North Fork Spring River, that was all bought land. I bought all of that land in there. And I homesteaded on Tudor Lake in Siskiyou County, California. Oh, mine was over at Modoc County, just across the line in Modoc County, where I got my homestead. And that is all lake bottom in there. They got a small acreage of it, awfully rich land. I got a homestead of 84 and 3/10 acres, I believe it was.
What did you do to get a homestead? Just go apply or how did you go about getting a homestead?
Well, you had to be a war veteran. At that time it was World War I veterans. That was before World War I come on. So I was entitled to a homestead. I finally got one. I smoothed it out. It was blown up in quite a lot of piles with the wind that blew the soil up from big leasers farming it. They didn't try to take any care of the farm. They just farmed it to take everything out they could get off of it. So I had quite a little job of moving those bounds as it blown up there, out, moving it around and getting it leveled out. But that didn't take long. They could do it all with tractors. Didn't take but a little time.
So you've seen it, farming change too, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
As well as Oregon as a whole.
Well, all over the world it's changed, I guess.
Yes,
But
yes.
here in the States it went from horse-drawn plows to big tractors in quick order after they finally got tractors built. Wheel tractors first, and the track layers. Then from that they went to four-wheel drives.
When you were a little boy, we celebrate Christmas so elaborate. I mean, not we necessarily, but I'm speaking in general. We have, our Christmas tree and exchange gifts. What was tradition in those days? How did you celebrate your Christmas day?
Well, when I was growing up, the little children, they got presents in their stockings. They hung them up by the fireplace for Santa Claus to come down the chimney,
Mm-hmm.
put presents in them. And we got candy pretty nearly every year until we got it, we knew that it wasn't the Santa Claus. Then we got a stick of wood in our
Stick of wood.
in our socks. We hung up. We knew we didn't need to hang them up the next Christmas.
That was the end, when you got the wood.
Yeah, we knew there was no Santa Claus. And the Santa Claus would put us a big stick of wood, and that's finished. Just the little children got it then.
Were most of the little toys handmade, or?
Oh yeah. All the toys was handmade those days. We usually got candy instead of toys.
Mm-hmm.
If we had toys, we had to build them of our own. We used to build flour mills and build a sawmill and a flour mill and run it in this little creek that come down to the house. Make a trough to run it out so it spilled down 2 or 3 feet.
Make your wheel turn.
Make the wheels turn there. We thought we was in big business.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, anytime you have youth or young people together, they're going to find some way of entertaining themselves.
That's right. We didn't know it. Never saw a factory-built toy while I was growing up. It was all made by parents or somebody. Any toy you had, it was made by someone around the community.
Of course, we tend to take everything for granted. I don't know what our children could do today if we took all these little computerized toys to get for Christmas. Now, wouldn't they'd really be hurting, wouldn't they, for a while?
Well, yes, they'd be plumb lost.
Mm-hmm.
Plumb lost.
You mentioned your mother died when you were 5. Did you have? Did your daddy keep the family? Get a housekeeper, or did he do the housework too?
Well, his sister, Aunt Laurie, come and took care of the children there until he got married again. It wasn't too long till he got married. And then Aunt Laurie took the baby that was born, but that she died from. And Aunt Laurie raised her. She never let Paul have her bring back home again.
To attach to her.
She attached to her. So he kept the boys, and Laura raised the little girl, Sylvie.
Then you had another little sister come along not too long after that.
Yeah, that's right. Not long, my dad got married, and about a year later, it doesn't matter why, we had another sister.
So that was all right, as long as you still had Sylvia.
Yeah.
The funerals that we have today, you know, you have your funeral home and to take care of everything in the church. I'm sure it was a different, the funerals were quite different in those days,
yeah.
weren't they?
The neighbors come in and took care of the corpse, and some of the neighbors would build a coffin and make the box for the grave. And then the neighbors would come in and dress the corpse and put him in the coffin, and the way to get him to the cemetery, only to haul him on a wagon with a team of horses or a yoke of oxen. And that's the only way he had to get around, so it was just a regular routine.
Mm-hmm. Everybody had done it that way.
Everybody did it the same. There's no other way to do it.
No. Well, I guess it seems like that. I guess we have sheltered our children from funerals and that sort of thing for the past years, but that was part of life, wasn't it?
And that's just part of life and death.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Death is just as certain as life.
Mm-hmm. I know many families lost several children,
Yeah.
either by sickness or accident. I guess the little children sometimes got burned to death
Oh, yeah.
by their skirt tails or their flannel gowns getting
Yeah.
too close to the stove.
To the fireplace or the stove.
I believe your brother Grover had a girl to burn till she died later,
Yeah.
and but they had to keep her in the home and just make her as comfortable as they could. And
Yeah.
the doctor, I guess, sent what medicine he had or came to see her, but just waited until she died.
Yeah.
There's nothing they could
Well,
do.
I'd gone west when that happened, and I didn't know about that for a long while.
That's bad. But, you know, sometimes we think that if anything happened to us as a mother, what would our children do? You know, we just can't think of how they could manage without us. And here I see you as lost your mother at 5 years of age, and how you grow up regardless whether you have a mother or not.
That's right. Yeah.
Of course, you had a good stepmother.
I had a good stepmother, and we got along fine.
And I believe you said he had a good mother-in-law, so that compensated me.
Yeah, that's right.
But that is, I think when my children were small, I thought, well, what if something happened to me, you know? How
Yeah.
would they, how could they grow up? But they do grow up. They grow
Oh,
up.
yes. And then, once in a while, there's a father that raises them anyway.
Mhm.
Whether he gets married again or not, why, he can take care of them, usually.
Mhm. It was almost necessary in those days to get out and find another wife, wasn't
Well,
it?
that's true. It just took so much work producing the groceries.
Mhm.
You couldn't go to the store and buy groceries. You had to produce your groceries right on the farm and put them up for the winter, can them or dry them, or any way to put them up to keep them. Of course, some of the vegetables you could bury in the ground, and sometimes you could bury your apples and keep them away in the winter. Sometimes you keep pumpkins and squash quite a little while. But the best way was to be to can it. You don't need to have it then. Of course, then you had to have a place that was frost-proof to keep it from freezing and busting.
Yeah, that's a big loss if you lost your canned goods.
Yes,
isn't
you
it?
bet.
From the geese and that, you got your feather ticking. I mean, your feather ticks. Didn't
Well,
you?
yes, we always kept geese to pick them a couple of times a year, get the feathers to make feather beds with, to keep you warm at night, because the houses we built those days was not too windproof. Log houses where you could take some of that old clay and put goby between the logs, and you could shut out all the wind. But lumber buildings was quite different. It's pretty hard to shut the wind out.
Yeah, there's no insulation there, too.
No.
Well, you wonder, when you look back, how in the world people raised the families, the big families they did.
Well, I look back and wonder just how they did it, but you could come through all right, of course. Didn't all of them live, but then those that lived come through, well, they made it. It's all through being hardy, I guess.
I guess so. Mother told me of some of the things that they would do in the winter for entertainment, and Grandpa would make them fox and geese games, a board, and they played that. And she said she had seen her father when he was an older man, pretty old. He would pull his shoes off, and the boys in the family pulled their shoes off and run a foot race in the snow to see which one would have to turn back first.
Yeah.
So there must have been a lot of laughter and good competition and that sort of thing going on in the family structure.
When I was working in the beetle business out there in Oregon, we had to have some entertainment around the camp. We was out there, hardly ever see anyone after the stoves come on. We worked on snowshoes or skis one. And one winter we camped up at Clover Creek in Klamath County, and coming deep snow there, about 3 feet deep, and big open timber right out in front of our camp there. And a little creek running right by, Clover Creek running right by the camp. That's what we used our water in. And I used to go out there and take my baths in that, right out there in that snow. The creek didn't freeze over, it's running pretty fast. Take my bath right there in that cold running water. One night, someone was bathing, and someone bannered the rest of us for a foot race out through take our clothes off and have a foot race out through the timber there. And we took our clothes off and headed out through there. There's no brush or anything in the way, just running between those trees. And that snow was up pretty near to our waist.